How to deal with life's difficulties. Hi guys, my name is Loveridge and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about how to deal with life's difficulties. Okay, so I have a slideshow for you guys to help you with this. In this topic you will need a pen and a paper to take notes. So let's get straight into it. So firstly, let's see what we're going to be talking about in this video today. And the points are this. So the core points in this video are this. Number 1, a positive attitude. Number 2, personal growth through suffering. Number 3, meaningless or meaningful. And number 4, I've got some practical exercises and resources for you that will help you further on with this kind of thing. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is positive attitude. And the quote that I have for positive attitude is this: there is a very little difference in people, but that little difference makes a big difference. The little difference is attitude. The big difference is whether it is positive or negative. And that is a quote by Napoleon Hill. So the first point I want to make is to actively seek the upside. So we live in a world where there's an upside, a downside. There's a north pole, there's a south pole. There's a back, there's a front, there's a negative, there's a positive. So you want to be actively seeking the upside, the positive. So for example, in a situation, there is always going to be a positive side and a negative side. And it's your job, when you are trying to be more positive and to deal with life difficulties, it is your job to find the upside. Because if you are looking at the negative, that is not going to help you. That's not going to put you in a resourceful state. That is not going to help you deal with the situation effectively. You need to be looking for the upside, because in the upside is usually the solution as well. So let's say you're a student and you are struggling with an essay. Obviously the negative probably will be, oh God, why do I have to do this? This is so difficult. I don't have all the resources. I don't feel like I'm smart enough. But in there's also a positive. So the positive is, okay, so I have some gaps in my knowledge here, but the positive side is that I can find out what those things are. I can find out what it is I need to know, or I can find out from my professor or my teacher what I can do to help this situation. What can I do to make it better? So even though this essay is really hard, I know that it's going to be a benefit to me because it's going to make me smarter in the long run, and it's going to help me create better essays in the future. But if you're looking at the point of, oh God, this is so difficult, I can't do this, it's not going to put you in a resourceful state. So if you look for the upside and something that you can learn from it, and look for the positive side of it, that will put you in a more resourceful state, and that will help you get the results that you want. So the next point I want to make is positivity is attractive and contagious. So if you have a positive attitude, then that's very attractive. We always like to be around people that are positive and are happy, because usually when we're around people that are positive and happy, that makes us feel better. We love to be with people that are happier and positive because it's contagious. It makes you feel better. And it's the same when someone really negative comes in the room, or you're talking to someone that's really negative. It makes you feel down as well, which is why you must aim to be positive, because you'll be attractive to the opposite sex or the same sex, depending on your sexual orientation. And also you'll be helping to lighten the mood when things are not going great, or you just make a happier mood even more happier just by your presence, just by the fact that you have a more positive mental attitude. And then you'll find that if someone is talking to you and they've got a problem, you can help them see the positive side of it. And if you're like that, you will come across as more attractive, and you'll be a much more likable person. Now, of course, not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone is going to, think you're awesome. There's always going to be people in your life that you just don't gel with, that just don't like you, and that's okay. But most of the time you'll find that having a positive attitude will have a positive effect on yourself and other people, and people will be attracted to you. So the next point is positive content. So what are the things that you watch? What kind of movies do you watch? What kind of things do you listen to on the radio? What kind of music do you listen to? And usually whatever we're listening to or reading or watching is having an effect on our mind. It's having an effect on our attitude. So for a while now, I've made a conscious effort to watch and read and listen to positive things, because that's much more better for me than watching, like, let's say, a horror movie that puts me usually in a negative mood, or it scares me or something, you know, or watching the news. I feel rubbish watching the news most of the time because usually most of it is fear-based, and also it just doesn't make me feel good because obviously they're talking about a lot of negative stuff. Whereas if I watch something positive, so like a positive movie, something funny, something that just is light-hearted, or if I listen to something that is positive, like an audio book or a podcast that is on a subject that is a positive subject, like it could be happiness, it could be personal development, anything to do with personal growth is positive, that makes me feel good, that makes me feel so much better, and I highly recommend that you start doing those things as well. In fact, I have a positive resources playlist that you can go and check out. The link for that will be in this video's description box. And those are some things that have personally helped me in my life in order to have a more positive mental attitude. The next slide is this: personal growth through suffering. And I have a quote for it, which goes like this: when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. And that's by Viktor E. Frankl. So the first point I want to make is use pain instead of pain using you. Now, most of the situations in my life that have had the most positive outcomes have actually came from painful situations, upsetting situations, situations that have made me have to grow because of how painful they were. So these situations for me were breakups, when I got rejected by a woman that I really, really liked, when I was going through other personal issues. These are the things that has helped me grow and become more. These are the things that have made me have to look for a deeper meaning. These are the things that have made me grow as a person. So when I really sucked at dating and when I just got rejected by a woman that I really, really liked, I actively sought out information on dating and relationships so this kind of thing would never happen to me again. And because of that, I started reading self-help books, started reading personal development, and that's what led me to who I am today and what I'm doing today. And it was because of a painful situation. So even if you are going through something terrible right now, there could be a benefit in that, which is the next thing. Which is the next thing I'm going to discuss, which is look for the lesson. If you're going through something painful right now, there is going to be a lesson in that. Okay, you need to look for it. So let's say you're going through what I went through. Okay, so you went through a painful breakup, or you went through a situation where a woman that you really liked rejected you, or a man you really liked rejected you. What's the lesson there? The lesson for me was, okay, I've just learned that I really suck at dating and attraction, and I can't ever seem to get the girls that I really want. That's what I learned from that. So in essence, I learned I need to learn how to be able to do this kind of thing. There's obviously something wrong with the method that I'm trying to go about this kind of stuff. There's something I need to learn here. I need to learn. And then I actively sought out the information. That was the lesson for me. What's the lesson for you? Just actively seek it out. There is a lesson there if you look for it. So the next point I want to make is to go past your comfort zone. Now, if you are working out in the gym, so let's say you're lifting weights or you're doing cardio, usually in order to get better, you need to struggle. It needs to be difficult in order to get better. Like you need to lift heavy weights in order to get muscles. You need to go hard in your cardio in order to develop a better stamina. Like you need to run faster, or you need to go more ferociously with your jumping jacks in order to get better endurance, in order to, have a better lung capacity. So you need to go past your comfort zone. It doesn't need to be an exercise, although that's probably one of the best ways to do it. It could be in your learning, it could be in your studying, just learning more, reading more, deciding that I'm going to read for an extra 30 minutes a day, or I'm going to study for an extra 30 minutes a day. Go past your comfort zone. Go through a little bit of suffering in order to get that growth muscle going. So the next slide goes into meaningless or meaningful. And the quote goes like this: change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. And that's a quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer. So the first point I want to make here is meaninglessness increases suffering. So if you don't find a meaning in something, if you think you're just going through your life and everything that's happening to you is meaningless, then that's going to cause more suffering because you can't find the meaning in it. And if you can't find the meaning in something, you are bound to suffer more. So for example, if I felt like when I was being rejected or when I was having a hard breakup that was meaningless, then I would probably have not tried to do anything to make the situation better. I probably wouldn't have seeked out personal growth and learning more about dating, because I would have had the attitude of, this is meaningless. What's the point? And if you have the attitude of, this is meaningless and what's the point, everything I try just, crumbles into dust, and you have that attitude, you're just going to suffer more. It's not going to empower you. It's not going to help the situation. So if you see stuff as meaningless, then it's just going to increase the suffering for you. So the next point is, meaning creates hope and personal growth. So if you find the meaning in your suffering, that is when you can actually seek an answer for it. That is when you are open to finding an answer for it. And that brings hope. That brings, a glimmer of light on the situation. So even if you're going through the worst time ever, but you happen to find just a little bit of meaning in it, that's going to create more hope for you. Because if you say, okay, so there's a relative of yours passes away, let's say, and you just think it's such a meaningless way to die or something, that's fair enough. I mean, I thought about that when my grandmother passed away. I thought it was really meaningless the way that she died. I couldn't see the meaning in it to begin with. And that made me feel worse. It made me feel like, why did she have to die this way? This is so wrong. What's up with the world? This is so meaningless. But in the end, I did find the meaning in it. And the point is, even if the meaning is something tiny, that will still create and generate hope. Because the thing that I found completely meaningless in my grandmother's death was the fact that she was in a room where a TV wasn't working, okay? When before she was in a room and she did have a working TV, but then she was moved into a room there where she didn't have a TV. And I thought it was so pointless. I was like, oh, couldn't she have just had that? She was dying. Why couldn't she have just had the TV on just to keep her company while she was going through the valley of death? And what I learned from that, the meaning I got from that was, well, actually, the room that she was moved to was closer to the front desk of that ward. And then I realized, wait, they moved her there because in that room was closer to where most people were. So if something happened to her, which it did obviously, there was people close by. She wasn't in the other room, which was further away from where the help desk was and from where people were going in and out. But because people were going in and out, and she was close to the door and she was close to the reception, then it was easier for people to get to her fast if she needed people. And that's the meaning I found in it, when I was like, oh, why couldn't she have just had a TV? Why couldn't she have just had, that little bit of comfort? Because, she loved watching TV and stuff. So, but when I saw it in that way, it created more meaning. I felt more at ease and more at peace with the situation. And I realized that it wasn't meaningless. There was a meaning. But anyway, the next point is, look for the hidden benefits of your struggles. When you're going through a struggle, there is always going to be a benefit there. And like I've said before, the benefit that I found in the fact that I got rejected by a woman that I really liked, and the fact that I had gone through a horrible breakup and I just sucked at dating, I found the benefit because the benefit was actually the pain. And because I went through that pain, that led me to grow, and that led me to have the business that I have now because of all the growth that I went through and all the things that I started to learn and understand. I learned the stuff that I learned so well that I was able to actually teach it to other people and be able to do that now. So that was the benefit. And there's always a benefit if you look for it. So this is when you're most going to need your notepad, your pen. So the first thing that I want you to answer is this question here. In the blue, which is, what is the upside to your main struggle right now in life? So the example I've used is this: I'm overweight and losing weight is difficult, but on this journey of losing weight, I'm learning a lot about healthy living. So that's the upside. Even though losing weight can be a difficult thing, especially when you're learning about new eating habits and exercise and nutrition, even though it's a struggle and it's difficult, at the same time, because you are focusing on it and you're going through it, you are learning new things. You're learning new ways to work out. You're learning about nutrition. You're learning about what not to eat, what you should be eating. That's the upside to this situation. You're learning. And that might be the only situation. That might be the only upside that you can find. But look for it and you will find it. So the second exercise in the green, which I want you to answer, is, what lesson do you think this struggle is trying to teach you? So for example, I'm finding it hard to lose weight, but this is teaching me that anything worthwhile takes hard work and determination, both of which I am willing to do. So look for the lesson, look for what this situation is trying to teach you about yourself. Whatever situation it is that you are personally right now finding a struggle. So the third exercise, which is in the purple, what is the potential benefit to this struggle you are facing? So for example, even though losing weight is a struggle, I know because of this journey, I'm going to become mentally and physically stronger. So what is the end benefit that you could gain from this struggle? What is this going to show you about yourself? What is the kind of person that you are going to become because of this? So anyway, here we have, in the red, we have some resources. So 2 books that I think are great on this subject that can help you see more meaning in your life and to help you with life's difficulties is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. The next book is I Can See Clearly Now by Dr. Wayne Dyer, which is also another autobiography of one of my favorite spiritual teachers. And basically it's about his life and how he could see how everything that went on in his life was actually kind of perfect. And even though some things were really hard at the time, he saw, by looking back from an advanced age, I think he was around 70 when he wrote this, he looked back on all the things that happened to him in his life, the good and the bad, and how it ultimately made him a better person and how it ultimately led him to his true destiny. And also, the Maps of Meaning 2017 lecture series by Jordan B. Peterson. That's a great lecture on meaning, finding meaning, responsibility. Really great lecture series. Again, all of these resources are going to be in the description box of this video, so go and check them out. Obviously, Man's Search for Meaning and I Can See Clearly Now are books, so you will need to buy those books. But however, Maps of Meaning is free to watch on the internet, so that's the free resource there. Also, there will be a positive resources playlist with things that have personally helped me. So, all of those videos are free to watch on YouTube. These are just things that I found over the years of personal development and trying to help myself in a way that have really helped me. So I highly recommend that you go and watch those. Anyway, I hope this video has helped you. Please go through, make sure you write down your answers to those questions that I've just gone through. Please go and check out those things that I've just suggested. And if you'd like help with me personally, please go to www.christineloveridge.com/shop, and there you can get some coaching with me.